Hello, thank you for joining Picket Fences today for our presentation on the difference between social distancing versus social isolation. So today we will be discussing the difference between the two and how social distancing can lead to social isolation. This is a very important and relevant topic during this time as we experience this global pandemic together while also remaining apart. During this time, scientists and health officials have advised that we practice social distancing as a way to prevent the spread of COVID-19. For some, the concept of social distancing creates social isolation. And I think it's important for us to understand the difference as we need to understand that social distancing does not mean social isolation. While it is important to reduce your close contact physically with one another, it is still possible to support your loved ones from a distance. So first, let's define social distancing. Social distancing is defined as a set of measures that is taken place as a way to reduce contact between people physically. Now, what is social isolation? Well, the CDC defines social isolation as a lack of social connections. And social isolation can lead to loneliness in some people, while others can feel lonely without feeling socially isolated. And the difference between loneliness and social isolation, because a lot of times those two are used interchangeably, but social isolation is, for example, if someone is living in a house that is full with other people and they're not living alone, they have many opportunities for communication, but they can still feel socially isolated because they feel like they aren't included in those conversations or opportunities for communication. Um, while for loneliness, on the other hand, someone can feel lonely if they maybe haven't talked to someone in a few days and they just call up their friend real quick and have a quick conversation and now they're feeling better. That is a difference between loneliness and social isolation. Social distancing does not mean social isolation. But let's think about it. How can social distancing lead to social isolation? Well, some of these factors can include living alone, working in high-risk areas such as a hospital or other essential jobs, having low mobility or some type of other disability that makes it difficult for you to go out often to get that social connection with others. Living far from family and friends, poor health, or the death of family or loved ones. Um, these factors can kind of shift social distancing into becoming social isolation instead. And like I said before, loneliness is not the same as social isolation. So what are the effects of social isolation? Well, prior to the pandemic, social isolation was a very prominent issue amongst seniors, with 1 in 5 seniors being affected by social isolation. And during this time of social distancing, it has been compounded for seniors. It is also associated with a 50% increase risk for dementia, for developing dementia, but also for developing other health problems. It is also a factor that significantly increases a person's likelihood for premature death more than smoking, obesity, or physical inactivity. Um, Social isolation has the same mortality and risk factors as smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. Also, mental illness can lead to a cycle of social isolation, as a person may be dealing with stress or anxiety or depression. They may feel less um, less inclined to be social, but in turn that can create a cycle of feeling more isolated, in which you dig deeper and deeper into that depression or that um, episode of stress or anxiety. People are social creatures. We use social interaction as a vital part of our social well-being, and we are driven by our desire to belong and for community. So without having these positive and durable relationships with both our selves and others, our physical and mental body, um, our physical and mental health can begin to fall apart um, due to the lack of that social stimulus. Social isolation can go even deeper as to have some people feel isolated even while interacting with others because there is no social net that they can be caught by, or like a safety net of social well-being that they can fall back on. So just saying hi to the postal worker won't satisfy that social need when someone is dealing with social isolation. It is something that is much more deep, that needs to be worked on uh, through various measures to prevent but also combat that. And as I pass this on to Ms. Rosalind Morgan, I just want to leave us with this definition. As opposed to saying social distance, let's say physical distance, right? Physical distance is absolutely essential, but that does not mean that we have to socially disconnect from our loved ones or from our family, according to the World Health Organization. So I will now pass this on to Ms. Rosalind Morgan to talk about how we can prevent social isolation during this time.
Hi there. Based on the continuing efforts to social distance, in the summer of 2020, the Mayo Clinic suggested several low-risk activities that we can do to stay socially connected, such as walking, biking, running, fishing with family or friends. These activities can still be done since the weather is changing a little bit. However, there are other ways where we can stay socially connected while we socially distance. Number one, learn new technology and devices, such as Zoom, Google Duo, Google Meet, Skype, Facebook Time. These are ways that we can meet together. For example, since me and my best friends cannot really get together, we have decided to do a quarterly tea party on Google Meet. We catch up, we share information, and we just have a great time. We laugh and just share a lot of stories. These are ways that how we social connect. We also have a friend who doesn't like to be do FaceTime, so we call her and we put her on speaker, and she's still involved in the group. That's one way. There's also other devices such as GrandPad by AARP. It allows seniors to connect with family and friends. Family members can even upload photos to the GrandPad. You also have the Echo Show, which is a screen that can be set up by a family member. for their loved ones by adding contacts to the Echo so they, again, can connect. And they can just simply say, call Mary or Bob, and let's have a video call. These devices can also be used to play games. You can put, again, pictures on them. You have video calls. You can play music and a whole lot more. We also have social media where a family can create family and friend groups. And these groups are through Facebook, and it's a feature, you create rooms that you conduct video calls and assign individuals to each room. For those seniors who are not connected by technology, church services are now virtual, as well as many other church ministry sessions. If your church has a senior session, you may be able to participate virtually or even possibly by telephone. Prince George's County Memorial Library, they have a system where you can dial in and you can listen to different lectures. There's also the Prince George's County Parks and Recreation Center, where you can reach out to them. They have a number of activities designed to meet the needs of seniors. Contact them and find out what senior activities are offered. Next, we have you can also participate in the PG County Department of Family Services Telephone Reassurance Program. You will receive a weekly call from a volunteer who will check on your well-being and just to have a friendly voice to see and check and see how you're doing. I have spoken to a number of seniors who have been so appreciative of these calls and that the volunteers are actually calling them and checking on them. In addition to that, if the seniors need something, the volunteers will reach out to us and let the Department of Family Services know what those needs are, and we will connect to the seniors to support them. To reach the telephone reassurance program, you can just register at 301-265-8450. There is another program, Fixed Senior Services has a telephone activities series where seniors can engage in fun community activities by phone. Tara, we talked about that.
Yes, so we have a telephone activity series in which seniors can call through our one dial conference call that has the same number every time, and there's no extra hoops to jump through, so it's very user friendly. We will be resuming that soon as we move towards having more presentations and activities available for seniors. Currently, we are doing some Zoom activity workshops that are currently happening. So we also will have a multitude of other presentations throughout the year. So if you are interested in any of those, please don't hesitate to contact us to find out some more information about that.
Thank you, Tara. There's another program called the COVA.org is Well Connected. Well Connected provides laughter, intellectual stimulation, inspiration, conversation, and a whole lot more through video and also by telephone. All groups, again, are accessible by phone or online from wherever you are, and it's free. Each well-connected session offers groups and classes a wide variety of topics such as art, music, or meditation and other interests. WellConnect meets 365 days a year. Well-connected members can call via a toll-free number and get a set time each week where a group will meet. And you can also join by video from your tablet, your computer, or even your telephone. Most groups meet 32 an hour, and there are about 12 participants in each group. Again, the phone number is 797-7299. And we also have, you can participate through other virtual groups, such as a virtual book club, movie club, where you can get together and read a book or watch a movie and discuss that movie or book. You can do that via Zoom, or you can do that by telephone. And we also have virtual exercise groups where you can even sit in front of a laptop or iPad and have virtual exercises. And lastly, families can also set up a one-dial conference call and set a time each week, bi-weekly or monthly, just to connect with family members, especially seniors. And lastly, if you have a friend who lives alone, send them a card, a letter, a care package, which would include things like hand sanitizer, Lysol, mask, or anything, just to make them feel good and to show that you're thinking about them. Now, in closing, this pandemic, even though we're trying to get out of it, it has been challenging to all of us. However, being creative is a must in order to remain socially connected while we are remaining socially distanced. Thank you so much. Again, here is our information and our contact information.
Thank you for joining us for our presentation on social isolation versus social distancing. We hope that you were able to find something to take with you and to share with others in your community and some of these resources as well. So thank you.